Top of the morning to you. Think back to some of your past successes. Think back to some of your greatest successes. Where have things really worked out and things just maybe exceeded your expectations? And think about some other times where maybe things just improved a little bit. When I was ski coaching, there was a top athlete, and one of the areas where, yes, I was a little competitive with my athletes. One of the areas where I could compete with this top level athlete that we were coaching was in our hill runs. We would run down a few blocks in the forest, in the woods, on a trail in a park in the city, and then we would cut across the stream, and then we'd run up the other side. And that's where I first came across the concept of towards and away from motivation. And I used different things. If we think back to the initial introduction questions, if we are moving towards something, I bet that's where we had bigger, more happy, more inspiring, more exciting results than when we were moving away from something. Away from something, we might have gotten that little bit of contentment of moving away. When I was doing those runs with Kevin, a lot of times I would be away from motivation, particularly if he was behind me. I would be like, I gotta stay ahead of him. And that was that behind motivation or away from motivation. I gotta keep steps ahead of him. And on the uphill, it was pretty easy. On the downhill, he was a good head or so taller than me, and he's got those long legs, so he would go flying down the hill, and I would often catch him on the uphill, or I would just try to be towards motivation. When he was in front of me, I had towards motivation. I was going forward. I was stretching to reach him. But when I passed him, I had to make a decision. I had to make a choice. And that choice was, am I going to stay with towards motivation, or am I going to move to away from motivation? When he was ahead of me, it was towards motivation to reach him. When he's behind me, it's natural to keep the same motivation story, but change its type. It goes from towards, to catch up, to away from, to stay in front of. So at that point, the mind, the unconscious, conscious need to realign and say, what are you really after? And if you're after excellence, in that moment, on my good days, I switch to towards motivation, towards my better time, towards my better fitness, towards my better exertion, towards my better self-improvement. And that kept me driving forward and driving me through the finish line. Lots of parenting is dealing with away from motivation and helping our kids move from that to a towards motivation. A lot of my coaching kind of falls in this area. People come with pains, problems, hurts, habits, and hang-ups, challenges, struggles, and they want to get away from those. And the first instinct is, that is so big, I can't see anything else, it's all in front of me. I just got to get away from it. I can't even think, I can't even aspire to going towards something else at this time. So a lot of times that's one of the early shifts. Take a picture of this. Picture yourself something somewhere, maybe sitting out here in the woods. Just we've got some rocks down here behind the chicken coop, and you're just sitting on the rocks, and the inspiration or idea comes to you, get away from the rocks. Which way do you go? The trail is not very well developed, but originally I would say follow the trail away. But if you're somewhere and you're moving away from, that's every direction all at once. Whee! Which way do I go? Where am I going to end up? That's the danger of away from motivation, is you're there and you're going to move away. Okay, I got away. I'm away. But where am I now? So it's non-directed. It's defensive. It's scary. It could be dangerous. And sometimes it's okay. Sometimes all you need is that away from motivation. All you need is to take action in that away from motivation. Thinking of bad relationships, bad workplaces, bad vocations, bad relationships in work, in home, abusive. Away from's a place to start. But as soon as you're safe and you got your basic needs taken care of, it's time to go towards motivation. Now picture I'm sitting, could be at the same place, sitting out on those rocks in the forest. And I got inspired to go to the chicken coop. Get up, head straight that way. There's the chicken coop. I knew right where I was heading. I knew right where I was going. I knew what I was heading towards. I had towards motivation. Picture that in life. Are you going towards connecting with people? Are you connecting at church? Are you joining groups at church? Are you getting involved in community? Are you volunteering? I was raised volunteering, and I've noticed that I'm not doing as good a job getting my kids out volunteering and serving in the area. So where are you going? That's mission, vision, and values. That's a whole big part of all of this is getting people in our masterminds and coaching and the people I meet to find towards motivation in their life, to find something to aim for, something to live for, something to go for, and then painting that picture, visualizing that picture, and making sure it's attainable. I'd love to be Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins isn't here or here or here. He's like, you got it? Yeah. So sure, that can be a thought in my mind, but what else is there before that? What are the steps along the way? What is something connectable? We want to set those big visions, those big goals, those big towards things, but we have to stay connected to them. We have to be looking at what are the parts and pieces that can keep me heading in that direction. What are the small bits that make it believable, make it achievable, make it something that we can wrap our minds around and picture. That's me speaking it on a stage in front of hundreds or thousands or millions of people. I said, I'm trying to eliminate all the ums, but this is real. This is live. This is unscripted. So find that vision, find that towards motivation, and find bigger and greater impact and, excuse me, abundance. Down in the doobly-doo below this video, write something in the comments about somewhere where you're away from. Where are you where are you motivated with an away from mindset? And what can you do to move to a towards thing? Just being aware of that, being an away from. You can start moving and reframing that into a towards mindset. So that's our lesson today. Towards motivation versus away from motivation. And get safe. Use your away from, get safe, get grounded, get your base needs. And then start being towards. Where are you heading towards? What is your future? You be blessed. A good place to work on towards motivation is with a coach, with a therapist, with a mastermind group, with a group of brothers from church, with a group of friends that have a little bit deeper level thinking. If you want to talk about coaching or mastermind, head over to brian.chat and let's have a real conversation about what you're running away from and where you want to go. See ya!